I'm going to read 3 poems that appeared in the Tipton Poetry Journal. The first one is called Better. I lived there well, but I could have lived better. I was with you, but I could have been within you. The heat wave, when we slept on the floor, could have been hotter. We could have sweated out sins we weren't even aware of. Had the floor been harder, we might have felt more support. The fans standing blandly by like eunuchs could have breathed on us fresher sweetness. Yes, the sweat we cursed we could have blessed and used to anoint our waists. The Chinese food we had delivered when I was too sick and you too tired to cook could have delivered us from evil. We ate facing, but we could have fed each other as bride and groom give marital blood and body, heedless of crumbs or stains that might befall tux and gown. We could have nourished each other like the blessed dead in the parable of heaven and hell's similarity. Remember the tornado warning? The sirens sang their sadness, taking all the town for witness. That could have been our lament, the dissemination of our fertile fears. We gathered our valuables, descended to the laundry room, and sat on the exercise equipment for 2 hours without television. We could have done this routinely without threat of tornado, each time re-evaluating what should be saved. Remember Mr. Liang, how viewless his basement office was. We could have welcomed him to our 3rd-floor balcony, with its panorama of Amtrak windows blazing at night like speeding TV screens, the trains and the Huron running side by side in a perpetual dead heat, while fowl of all sorts stirred the air with their bets. We left well, but we could have left better. Could have tossed a handful of dirt into the dumpster where we buried what we could not keep. Southern Decatur County. Squirrel, naked and greasy, flanked by corn's yellow teeth. Squirrel on the sill ignoring a glass bird that bows without dropping its hat. Squirrel falling straight as a walnut, then swinging in my hand perfectly relaxed. I never know where Bill will appear. By a campfire under Hoosier stars or under the single red star of his Texaco Fire Chief gas pump, posing for a photo beside the wreck of the biplane he flew above the Ohio. At his kitchen table, wine glasses on an oilcloth, his machinist's fingers coaxing ghosts from rims. Maggie may appear beside wobbling Tower of Babel cakes, or among beans and cabbages beating a goat, or in a dream where her breasts plop from her sundress, clogging the garden rows. I never know where I will show. In the Civil War cemetery, picking blackberries. Underwear swimming in Sand Creek's muddy water, catching a baby snake. In the auditorium where my cousin and 200 others march in ministers' robes, while I squirm in a suit without briefs. Marc Eisdorfer. The summer before he died, he hitched to Oregon and back, returning with a pack of Andy Griffith trading cards from a general store in Idaho. He was interested because he was from North Carolina, and like Barney Fife, he had a middle name that kept changing. He praised the sense of community, but pointed out that in Mayberry, no one was black, no one was queer. The poor stayed in the hills. No mention of Chapel Hill, with its educated Jews. That summer he seemed healthy, house-sitting for a Guatemalan refugee, hospitalized with a brain parasite, bringing me thermoses of miso and tofu after my hernia repair. He talked endlessly about Mickey, how after Mickey left he would lie in bed smelling the sheets. No new episodes, and no foreseeable end of syndicated reruns. When I was back on my feet, we took the Guatemalan's truck to the lake. Marc named 30 birds by sound alone. The devil wept, the angels called, the diamonds of the world turned solved. The rivers turned back, the mountains took flight, the lions lost their appetite. Man stopped trying to fool himself. The drummer put his drums back on the shelf, on the shelf. The homeless man, he dropped his sign. The blood of Christ turned back to wine. The girl next door, she stood and stared. Every little helpful soul despaired. Crocus refused to greet the spring. Voices in my head, they ceased to sing, ceased to sing.